Alright, so back to business. So last week we got the server working. Let's test that out real quick, do a quick build. And should be able to see my two different sessions connect to each other if we do this build. And then, oh yeah, we got the tweening system working, so we're gonna we're gonna work with that a little bit today. So let's shut some of this down. And there's our guy, and there's our tween working, and I saw this happening yesterday, and I'm not sure why. And I noticed that this seemed to have cleared it up. Let's see if it does it again. And it might be just something to do with the weather, I don't know. It seems to be doing it in a strange way. Let's see here. Let's do that with 200. Oops. So there's our guy moving around. There we go. So it seems to clear it up when I hit that. So we're going to play with that later. I'm going to set this down to do 20 milliseconds. See if that makes it any better. So there we go. So it's quite a bit better, and you can see how they move individually of each other. So now let's hook up the tween and watch them run around the screen together. So first things first, we need to go to our move action. So this is where we're going to hook in our tween. So we've got our object creator, we already got that set up. We can use our playground as our reference. So we're going to do essentially this. So here we go. So we're going to do here, I'm going to create our tween. And we're going to use the object creator, oops, not statically, create instance, tween 2. So actually, you don't actually tween the item, we actually tween this world point. And so we need to find out the unit's current location. So it would be unit created. And that's not even the right thing. Unit created, position X, unit. It's not unit created. So we can fix that right now. Fix this. Fix unit move. Save this here for safekeeping. So we're going to be using it. And there we have it. So let's grab that. And now, tween 2, we're going to tween the world point. I'll show you why in just a moment. So, time is going to be the unit move time. Properties is going to be X. It's essentially this. This is going to be unit move, unit move. Okay, and we still have this not quite perfect yet. We're not using the unit move here, we're using the unit X. So we're going to start with our current position, Y. And now we're going to add some properties here, which is going to be our update function. Here. And then we're going to do our, update function on complete. Oh, this is the problem. On update on complete function tween void. Okay. And now we can, on update, we can actually grab the game world, move item to the new world point, so I'll just update the new world point. And then on complete, so first of all, we're going to do unit, and one thing we don't have is the pose. So we need to get that. World entity. So what we do is we can actually cast this to a game object. And so now our game object has our look at and our visible. So what we need to do is we're going to update that. We're going to say var pose. It's going to be get and set pose. Not everything will have a pose, but that's okay. Gets and sets the pose of the entity. And it's not what we want. We got a poses. Okay. Now, game object is going to be the wizard game object. So we're going to need that here. So we're going to do that at is var. Go ahead and add that in there. Get and set. Get a little bit of volume and let's play some music. And so I'm actually going to set this pose right here. Getter and setter pose. Public function poses, and pose equals poses. It's going to be run. And then when they're done running, we're going to go back to idle. Now let's go back to our, just to double check here, we've got our nickel game object, that's good. Actually, you know what? I'm going to need to override set pose. And so that's going to return value. Let's make sure that'll build. Okay. Playground line 80. Playground. And we had a set pose. Okay. On game loot, move last wizard. Don't really even need this anymore. Not even sure we even need this game loop anymore. So, let's run a build there. Okay, so that's looking good. Now let's look at our unit created. And if you look here, we add the game up. So when we create the unit, we create the instance, and then we get the display by game object. We actually haven't added it yet. So that's a problem. So we're going to say public function assign display to. So actually, let's get this closer. Now this is very specific to the necro display. And so, a couple ways we can handle this is we can expose a display to the game object, which is kind of weird. Or we can assign the world entity, have the display assigned there. But my concern is that there's a whole lot of knowledge here, and I didn't want to expose it to the game object. So let's give it some more thoughts. What we could do is we could create some sort of system that maps them together, but we already have that. We already have that in our game world. So the problem is we don't have a way to assign the display. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide it underneath. I'm going to hide it. So under our, we have game entities. I think we had, where is our game object? We're going to move that into the world. World. So I'm going to create a new interface here. I'm going to call this world entity display. And I'm going to say function, no, var display get set display node. Okay, I'm just going to play around with this a little bit. If we do it this way, our necro display no, we don't want our necro display. We want our necro game object. They can implement, in fact, we can make this, yeah, implements world entity display. Clean up the imports. So now we can implement a display node here. Get set, make this as var, and generate a getter and setter for the display. Okay. Display node. Okay. Now we run into this problem with casting. So we can say grb this display, and that will be a display node just for, no, this would be necro display. And now we can do, we don't need isVar now, necro this display equals cast value. We have to make this assumption. No, that's okay. I think I'm okay with this. This display. This display. Okay. So now, this display, and now we can take advantage of a bit better speed. Okay. Now that we have that in place, let's take a look at our game world 2D. And now we can actually automatically assign it here. So game world 2D test. Say test should automatically assign display if game object, if world entity is a world entity display. Okay, that's very specific, but that's what we need. Should add entity. I think we're going over here. Should. Nope. It's way at the top. Okay, here we go. Add game object. This is close enough. Okay. Add game object. And what we're going to need is we're going to need a yeah, okay. So where is our mocks? Mocks. Okay. Here we're going to create a file. Mock game world display object. That'll work. .hx package mocks class mock game world display object extends mock game object implements display game world what do we call this thing? World entity display. And now we just need to implement poses, getter setters, given setter is var poses public. All right. Now we can use the mock game world display object.
Bye. Good luck.
Alright, so, and now we got the display node container. I think we don't really need a display node container, but I don't know if we have any other option. Okay, so entity factory, create game view, add game object, and now we're going to assert. Oh no, we're going to do game object. Set pose to, oh no, not set pose, display, set display. Display to display. Verify. And hopefully that'll build. Nope. It says give 11 line 8. Oh, because this is wrong. Display. Display node. Faster if I just do this. Okay. That was a little bit of a distraction here, so let's do this. Display node, and that should do the test. Okay. Mock game object. Okay, so we need to fix this. So that is var public poses and center public and hopefully that'll do the trick. Build, build, build. We're going to shut this down. And, oops. Actually, might as well do a run. Get this build happening. Lots of building going on. We're builders. And this build is taking a really long time. Have to build everything, I guess. In the meantime, what we're going to do is, that should fail. We've got this set up. And so that'll be fine. Eventually we're going to need to, one problem here is as we re-get this point, we have to reassign the tween, recreate it, so that's okay. We can fix all that stuff. But just want to get this one piece working. We got our music playing now. And we have our failed, which is invoked 0 times. Let's go to game world 2D. And now we can say at the very end, if world entity standard is world entity a world entity display cast world entity display equals our display. And got some good music going. And we're success. Okay, so now we can go to our create unit action, or unit create, unit created, and now we don't even need this anymore. And that's it. Looking a little bit better. So I think we're in the realm of trying this out. So that's all in place. It's looking good. It's looking good. Very good. Very good, everybody. Very good. Oh, you know what we need to do is we need to set the look at as well. So unit move action, and let's see here. Left click, right click, there he is, and rebreak. It looks like it's under poses. So I wonder if, okay, so click on our necro game object. I'm wondering if our display was still set. So we're going to trace it out. So trace, setting, display, make sure this is not null. And our Necro game object implements the display. Let's close this down because we know that test passes. Don't need this open anymore. Don't need that open anymore. Game world 2D. That should set the display. Unit created action. Add game object. So let's try and run this again. Built into displays in here. It's kind of private-ish. Necro game object. We set the display. Trace this display. Okay. So it does set the display. Let's run it again after I added that new trace. Because it should have a display. Actually, we could do that as well. Oops. Display set. Reopen. Alright. Reopen. There we go. So, line 41, we have a Necro display. Try it one more time. So, set pose. Looks okay. So here, Necro display. We have this pose. So let's see here. Trace pose. Trace bitmap. Trace image poses. Trace direction pose map. Get no. See what's going on here. As far as I can tell, it looks like it should work. In fact, while we're at it, let's just move forward here. And move action. We're going to do on begin function tween void and open. And Necro display line 91. Pose is null. Pose is null? Oh, because we didn't actually sign it. Okay. pose equals this pose equals value. And that'll do it. In fact, stop that. Unit move action. Let's finish this here. So I'm going to say unit look at world point. Let's put that in there. Alright, this is getting exciting. Okay, so I'm super confident that's what's going on, so I'll start taking these traces out. So you don't need so much tracing. Oops. And there we go. Reopen. And we're close. So set unit move action. Unit move. Oh, so we actually need to do Z. I believe this one's unit Y though. We'll figure that out. I know we're gonna have to do this one here. You can't see it pointing at the screen, but yeah, this is. We have to use. Oops. We have to use Z here. And here we go. Coming along. Okay. And anything we're missing here? Unit move doesn't have a Z. Line 39. World point cannot be called. And I think this was right in the first place. Maybe not. I think it is supposed to be the unit Z. Alright, so let's change this back to Y. What is this here? Necro game object. We're getting close. Don't need that anymore. And I feel like we should conform on a naming. So that was right before. Unit move action. So new world point. I'm going to change this right now to position Z. Okay. So that confusion goes away. And so we're going to go to X and Y. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. Everything's fine. Everyone relax. Is here, we're just using random X and Y. And in fact, we're going to change this to Z. Okay, we're going to do here. We're going to just do X. Go away. And this one we're going to do Y. And so that comes from the mouse. I'll show you. So we're passing in the X and the Y from the mouse. So now we'll just put them where we want them to go. And that's what I was expecting. And now we're going to get there. We're going to fix it. There we go. There he is. And he runs. His pose is a little weird. So let's take a look at our unit move action. Let's just put this here. So he looks at the correct point. Actually, you know what? I think a better way of doing this is, so there we go, we got him running in the right direction now. I'm gonna do one more thing. Let's see if this will be actually better. See, new world point to D. This will be unit move, position X, unit move, position Z. Okay. So now, when I do that calculation once, the downside is we're creating 2 new world points, and that's kind of a performance problem. But we got a lot of performance problems with this thing that we can easily clean up. But we just want to get this happening, and then we can always clean up, we can always improve, we can always refactor, and we will. So there he is. And as you see, depending on the distance he goes at a different speed. That's because on our unit move on our server side, we're telling the run to take 1 second to go to whatever distance. We'll eventually, probably tomorrow, fix that. Also, this doesn't make sense, right, when we move off the map, because we're not getting the world points. So that's okay. And so what we're going to do is do one more run on this. We're going to do this one, and this one, and oops. We got our guy there, and we see him running on the screen. Now we're having that weird issue again. So I'm going to get confused on that. I think it seems to only happen. Oops. It seems to only happen when I'm casting. So there's he's running. Let's go this guy. So you'll see them running together. Isn't that cool? So now I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to set this to a really high number so that we can catch them running better. So let's see, I'll run a little bit longer. And that's what live reloading does. You see how we just made that change there? And now we can get them running in the same spot. And just for the fun of it, let's do some more live reloading, because that's pretty much the coolest thing ever. And we got music, just madness, and it crashed. Aww. But let's run it up again. One more time, just for fun. Oops. That was my problem. So there, we're running. Oh, okay, sweet. We got the thing. Execute pointer move action. somewhere in the move action. It's hard to say. But we'll debug that. Let's do a run. Too much fun. Let's restart this just for consistency. There's our guy there. He's running. And bummer. Okay, so anyways, we got some fixing to do. That's fine. So get status. And we made quite a few changes here. Let's look at our server, make sure their tests are good. We got a lot of warnings we should probably fix up, but that's okay. And now we're going to do get. Do we have any changes here? I don't think we have any get diff. We do have a few changes. This looks like some cleanup there, and we'll play with this later. We do have some good changes though. Let's change this back. I guess it doesn't really matter for that. So I would say get status, get commits, code clean up, and couple of bug fixes. Okay, get push origin master, get status, get commit, got units, tweening on screen together. There we go. Get push origin master date. Let's tag this. Get tag 2016 0705 0823. Boom. Get push origin this baby. And there we have it. We have our units on screen and they're running around together. It's been a good morning, good start of our week, short week. Happy coding.